Hello to the crochet lover, my name is Dasha and welcome back to my channel. In this video we are going to try Tunisian crochet for the first time together. First of all, I want to say that a lace crochet project was in my wish projects list for a very long time. So I decided to try two things I haven't tried this year yet together in one project, adding lace and Tunisian crochet. And honestly, it feels like a perfect moment for this project because the stores are full of lace pieces right now. You can make this sweater with any yarn you like. And it's certainly up to you if you want asymmetrical neckline or the regular one. Also, I need to mention that this project is not really beginner friendly. Well, let's be honest, I always try to explain everything in detail, but if you have never held a regular crochet hook before, this project with Tunisian hook might be a bit complicated for you. Now let's get to work. I'm going to use Mondial Microsoft. It's 100% acrylic yarn, so I'm going to add a bit of mohair to make this sweater a bit warmer. Since this yarn recommends us to use hook number 4 or 5, I'm going to use hook number 8 because Tunisian crochet requires a hook size a bit bigger than the yarn recommends. You will also need a cable for your crochet hook. My cable is about 30 centimeters, but it really depends on the width of your sweater. You can notice that I also have a stopper on the end of my cable. It's very important, you should have it too, or you can just use Tunisian hook, which is much more longer than mine. After you find your first measurement, take your hook and your thread and let's make a chain number according to that measurement. Make sure to make an even number of the chains. I'm going to make 50 chains. Even though my first measurement is around 45 centimeters, you can see that I made slightly more chains because after we start crocheting, this measurement will shrink a bit and gets a little bit smaller. So don't be afraid to add extra 10 centimeters and extra chains. After you made your chains, chain 1, and let's cast on our stitches in Tunisian way. Insert your hook into the next loop from your hook and pull up a loop. Now insert your hook into the next loop and pull up a loop again. Continue inserting your hook and pulling up loops until the end of our chains. After you have pulled the loops from every chain we made, let's start our first Tunisian row. Yarn over and pull through the first loop on your hook, like this. This is gonna be our first stitch, and every Tunisian crochet row we start from crocheting just one loop. Then yarn over and pull through 2 loops. Yarn over again, pull through 2. Continue crocheting 2 loops at the same time until you reach your last loop. And this is how we finish the first row. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And this is how we finished our first Tunisian row. You can see how much gaps it has, but don't worry, in the next rows we are going to cover all the gaps with our button. Now, in every row, make sure that this loop is not very loose, so control the tension. And let's start our next row. Insert your hook under the next front loop. This is the first one and this is the second one. Yarn over and pull up a loop. Now, very important, we have to pull up a loop from this front loop, but at first we have to twist this loop. Pull a bit this loop so it can be more loose. Twist it like this. And now insert your hook into this twisted loop and pull up a loop. Because of the twist, we made a V sign out of these two loops. At first, twisting every second loop can be a bit complicated, but since you will get used to this pattern, it will be much more easier. Now repeat. Insert your hook into the next front loop and pull up a loop. Now you have to insert your hook under this loop, not from this side, but from this side. You can twist the row if you want, or you can twist the loop. Again, insert your hook under the next loop normally, and for the next loop, twist it. You can already see how it creates the V signs from our straight loops. Continue pulling up a loop and then twisting every next loop until the end of a row. I have reached the very last loop, and the very last loop should be also twisted one. So twist the loop, insert your hook, pull up a yarn. If you have mixed twisted and normal loops in the right order, you should already see this pattern. Now for the next row, let's crochet our loops. The first loop is always crocheted solo, like this, and then yarn over in crochet and pull through 2. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Continue crocheting our loops until the end of the row. When you reach last 3 loops, pull through 2 and pull through 2. For the next row, we again should create the V form from our front loops like this. So again, insert your hook under the next front loop and pull up a loop and twist the second one. The normal one, the twisted one. And now you can see how we have V signs under the V signs. And this is our pattern. Continue pulling up a loop until the end of the row. And again, when you reach your last loops, the normal one, the twisted one. And now let's go back by crocheting every loop. As usual, we start crocheting the first loop solo, and then yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and continue until the end of the row. I'm finishing the row And now you can take a look at our made rows. Continue pulling up a loop, twisting every second loop of the row, and then crocheting them back until you're satisfied with the width or length with your armhole. Since we are crocheting our sweater from the top to the bottom because of the pattern of the stitch, when you are satisfied with the width or length of your armhole, we have to make increases. So continue making the rows until you are ready to make increase under your armpit. I'm going to crochet 15 rows. Now I have finished my 15 rows. And now it's time to make some increases for our armhole. My armhole will be around 24 centimeters, which is 9 inches. We are going to add 2 increases at the start of the row and 2 increases at the end of the row. So before starting the next row, we should pull out 2 extra loops. So insert your hook into between these 2 first loops, like this, and pull up a loop. Then insert your hook into this little space next to our first loops and pull up a loop again. These 2 loops are going to be our extra V sign when we are going to crochet them back. And now continue pulling your loops as usual, twisting the every second loop until the end of the row. When you have pulling up a loop from your last stitch, find a small space under your last stitch and insert your hook right there and pull up a loop. Now insert your hook under the side loop right here and pull up a loop. This is how we have added 2 more loops on your hook. Yarn over crochet first loop, then yarn over and crochet the loops normally until the end of the row. And this is how we have added 2 more loops at the start of the row and at the end of the row. For the next row, don't forget to pull up the loops out of 2 new loops we made in the previous row. And this is how we have added 2 more V stitches on the row. Continue crocheting your back part until you're satisfied with this length. I'm going to make 17 rows more. And when you are satisfied with the length of your sweater, I'm going to show you how to crochet the last row. If you want to add the lace on bottom of your sweater, keep it in mind while deciding what length of a sweater you want to have. Now I'm satisfied with the length of my back panel. After the made our first decrease, I added 16 rows, and right now I'm going to start the final row, number 17. And for this final row, I'm recommending to use a smaller hook than you were using for the whole back panel. For example, I was using hook number 8, and now I'm going to switch hook number 6. There is no big difference if you will use hook number 5, 5.5 or 7. The main point is to use the smaller hook to make the final row without these gaps. So change your rope to the smaller hook and let's start our final row for the back panel. Our final row is going to be absolutely the same as we were made it previously, thus this time we are going to use smaller hook. Start pulling the loops until the end of a row. If you don't have the smaller hook to make our last row more neater, you can just proceed with the hook number 8 or the hook you were using for the back panel. The only thing you will have these big holes, but don't worry, if you are going to use the lace as I'm going to make, the lace will cover these holes and they will be kind of invisible. I have finished the last row using the hook number 6, and you can notice how the loops are already much more smaller than than when we were using hook number 8. And in the same way we were making it previously, crochet every loop, starting at first from 1 and then crocheting every 2 loops. The spaces between our stitches is already smaller, but not small enough, and that's why I'm going to use lace to cover this hole and make it look more neater. I finished the row, chain 1 and cut the yarn. This is how we will finish our back panel, and for the front panel you should repeat all the steps you were made for the back panel as well. Just make sure you start your increases in the same place you are started making increases for your back part. Now, after you have finished your front part as well, and you have 2 equal pieces of our Tunisian crochet sweater, it's time to proceed to our sleeves. We are going to start our sleeves in the same way we were starting our back and the front panel. But before you start making base chains, you need to find out how many chains we need to make for our sleeve. To do this, take your measuring tape and measure how many centimeters you have from the top of your sweater to the first increase. As you can see, I have 21 centimeters. Then you have to double this number. When I will double my 21 centimeters, I will have 42 centimeters in total. This is the width of your future sleeve. Now you know how many centimeters you should have with your base chains. By the way, just take a moment to look at your inside of the sweater. I'm really in love with this button, even on the wrong side, because it's so dreamy. It reminds me of pearls or something like this, and it really looks like pearl knit stitch. Now take your crochet hook number 8 back and let's start our sleeve. Start making chains until you will have the measurement of your sleeve. My sleeve is gonna be 32 centimeters width. So I'm going to make in chains until I reach that number. For my sleeve, I have made 38 chains, which is equal to 32 centimeters. And start making our sleeve in the same way we were starting our back and front panels. Pulling the loop first and then crocheting them in the same technique and the same pattern. The first row of our sleeve is done. Continue working this pattern for the sleeves, twisting the loops and crocheting them until you will reach the elbow point. When you will reach the elbow, we will start making decreases, because as you can see, our sleeve is going to be too wide for our arm, and you can leave it without any decreases if you want, but I would like to decrease some stitches to make it more smaller on your hand. Now I have reached my elbow point of the sleeve. Now we need to make decreases, and for that we are going to decrease our loops. So typically when we are going to crochet the loops, we are crocheting the first loop and then we are crocheting our 2 loops together. This time, as we are going to make our decrease, we are going to crochet 2 loops together at first. Here we are. This is our first decrease. And then continue crocheting as usual until the end of the row. And now let's make our second decrease on this row. Pull through 2 until you have 3 loops on your hook. In a regular row without any decreases, we would make yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. But this is our decrease row, so now we have to decrease these 3 loops. Yarn over and pull through the 3 loops left on our row. And this is how we made our last decrease on this row. The next row after decrease row is going to be a normal row. Just skip these first loops we just decreased, and start pulling up the loops from the next one, from the next stitch. Continue this step until the end of the row. Now when you have reached the last stitch, pull up first loop, and this is the decrease from the previous row, which means we are going to use both loops together to pull the loop. So twist them carefully and pull the loop. This is how we made decrease in the previous row. Continue crocheting your sleeves, making decreases in the every second row until you're satisfied with the length of your sleeve. I have almost finished my first sleeve, and now you can see its shape decreasing to your wrist. I started making decreases at the row number 17, and 50 rows later I stopped making any decreases because I'm completely satisfied with this width of the sleeve. Now we are going to close our sleeve in the same way we were closing our back and front parts, changing the hook to the smaller one. Take your smaller hook and start pulling the loops in absolutely the same way you were making in the previous row. And now when you have pulled in all the loops across the row, start crocheting them backward. And when you finish the row, chain one and cut the yarn. In total for one sleeve I made 36 rows. Now repeat all the steps for the second sleeve. Just remember when you have started your first decreases, how many decreases you have made, and when you have stopped making decreases, if you did so. After all your sweater pieces are done, it's time for blocking. I used acrylic yarn, so steam from my iron was completely enough for me. After blocking, it's time to sew our pieces together, but first you need to decide how wide you want your neckline to be. I want an asymmetrical neckline, so I will connect the front and back panels only on one side. Don't forget to place a stitch marker there. Then place your front piece on top of the back piece and add another stitch marker. Now after blocking, let's start sewing our sweater all together. First thing first, I'm starting with the sleeve sewing. I want to close one sleeve and then close the second sleeve, and then we are going to attach our already closed sleeves to the sweater. For closing the sleeve, I'm going to use mattress stitch, and I'm going to show you how it works with some accent color thread. Take your piece so the wrong sides are facing each other, like this. Find your side stitches. Here's mine at the first side, and here's side stitches on the other side. You can also notice that in some places we don't have full stitches, full V stitches, just a part of them. So I'm going to show you how to work mattress stitch with these parts of the V. Insert your needle into the base of the one side and then right on the other side. Then insert your needle into this horizontal loop between our V stitch. And repeat at the other side. Also into horizontal stitch between our V stitch. And repeat a few times more. Now you can fasten our thread and this is the connection we're gonna have on our sleeve. Continue closing our sleeve, inserting your needle under the horizontal stitches between V-stitches until the top. In the places you have only half of the V-stitches but not the full stitch, insert your needle under these horizontal stitches behind our half of the stitch. Now repeat the same with your other sleeve. I'm also leaving a small amount of yarn tail. After we have closed our sleeves, let's proceed to the back and front parts of the sweater. Now we are going to attach our sleeves to the back and front panel, and yes, I haven't connected our panels because I'm going to leave this part to the very end of the process. Using the yarn tail we have left before, I'm going to connect sleeve to the back and front part using mattress stitch again. I am attaching my needle right into the marked stitches . This time I'm going to insert our needle into horizontal loops on our sleeves right here. After you have reached the other side of the armpit, continue making mattress stitch until the end of the sweater, connecting the front and the back parts. And when I have connected the front and the back panels, small knot to secure. Now repeat the connection steps for the other side of the sweater, connecting the second sleeve. Now, after you have connected all the parts all together, put your sweater inside out. Now we are going to close this upper part of our sweater. So take a smaller hook. I'm going to use hook number 6.5 and insert your hook in the corner of your sweater at the part we haven't connected yet, and secure the yarn. Chain 1 to secure. Start connecting the sweater using slip stitches until you reach the marked stitch. When you have made your last slip stitch and reach the marked stitch, you can remove the stitch marker, make your loop, chain 1, and make your loop a bit bigger. Now put your sweater so the right side will facing you. And now we are going to start making the ribbon all across our sweater. Make a chain number according to the desired width of your ribbon. I made 5 chains. Now chain 1 and start making single crochet into the second chain from your hook. Now I have 5 single crochet. Find the first stitches we have made when we casted our stitches and work slip stitch into the first loop and the second one. 1 and 2. Now turn your work, skip those 2 slip stitches we just made and work single crochet back loop only into the first single crochet from the previous row. All the ribbon is going to be made into the back loops only. Now I have 5 single crochet, chain 1 and turn. Now again work single crochet into the back loop until the end of your ribbon row. Again work 2 slip stitches into the base loops. 1 and 2. Turn. Again skip those 2 slip stitches and work single crochet back loop only until the end of a ribbon row. Chain 1, turn. Repeat this step until the very end of your next space, and I'm going to meet you when you will reach the very start of the ribbon, right here. When you have reached the start of your ribbon, make your last slip stitches. I'm making my last slip stitch in the base of the ribbon. Then fold our ribbon so the face side is facing each other and start connecting it with a slip stitch. Chain 1 to secure and cut the yarn. Our sweater is almost done. The upper part of the sweater is really stretchy because of the ribbon, and now the only thing which is left is the lace. If you don't want to add lace, you can make the same thing which is made for the neckline, adding the ribbon in the same way we have made it right here. But if you also wanted to add some lace, let's start. You will need around 2 or 3 meters of the lace. I have this one. It's just a bit stretchy, but it's just a regular lace I have ordered on Amazon in the same color with the sweater. Now we are going to start with sleeves. Take your lace and wrap it around your sleeve. You should leave about 1 centimeter on the both sides for the seam allowance. Fold about 5 millimeters from the both sides of your lace and stitch it with the needle or the sewing machine. At first I was thinking maybe I should add the lace using my sewing machine, but after trying the first attempt, I saw that whatever stitch type I choose on my sewing machine, whatever settings I made, the stitch with sewing machine is too tense and almost destroy the lace. So I decided to choose the old but gold method, sewing with hands. Also, instead of the regular thread, I decided to use mohair to cover the stitches even better. At first, I pinned the lace in the places it should be and started to sew. I don't make any special stitch, just freestyle and try to make my stitches as neat as possible. In the same way, I'm going to add lace to the bottom part of the sweater, thus this time I'm going to make seam line on the side of the sweater.
С лицом